Traditionally, sports sedans have been the vehicles that showed off the spirit of BMW. Not so much anymore. The 2023 X3 SUV moves into the 3 Series territory with a satisfying blend of refinement and driver engagement. As its name implies, the X3 is the crossover equivalent to the renowned 3 Series sedan and shares many of its underpinnings with it. There aren't many luxury SUVs that had as successful a run as the Lexus RX. 24 years of uninterrupted sales dominance, and that's in part because the RX is the OG of the group, but also because Lexus knows not to fix what isn't broken. So while the 2023 RX is indeed all new from the ground up, it doesn't stray far from the same basic formula. And because it can be tricky to tell which one is better, in this video we'll compare both SUVs' designs inside and out, pricing and how they drive. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. The previous X3 was hardly an aging veteran, showing up on the scene in 2018, so BMW has gently massaged the packaging, tweaking the look while bringing in more tech within. The exterior design improves substantially. The X1's double kidney grille is big, but its squared-off shape is considerably more palatable than the prominent oversized nostrils on other BMWs, and the chunky nose has a nice slant to it with the sleek headlights tucked underneath the hood line at the top. The X3's muscular athletic side profile is sleek and dynamic, with a prominent character line that connects the door handles, enhancing its muscular proportions. Around the back, new taillights provide a unique nighttime light signature, with a wonderful three-dimensional look up close. Embadged models benefit from their own distinctive styling cues, like larger air intakes up front and tweaked bumper designs. The 2023 Lexus RX has been fully redesigned, aiming to bring drivers the same sense of luxury and comfort that defined its predecessor. For one, it's a better-looking vehicle than the one it replaces, applying updated Lexus style and cues more cohesively to a body that looks like it was meant for them from the beginning. The most noticeable change in the SUV's styling is the spindle grille. This design element has always been polarizing, particularly the bulging transition from the more upright lower section of the grille to the hood, which can seem a bit awkward. The silhouette is even less SUV-like now, although the various models' ground clearances are all over 8 inches and the overall height only 0.4 inches lower than before. The new RX sure looks lower than the old one in person, and just low in general for an SUV. A massive LED light bar lines the rear end with a new Lexus word mark stretched across the trunk lid, and the lower portion of the bumper now features a smoother wave-like design that blends polished metal and plastic into one cohesive look. Jumping inside, the dashboard is where the bulk of design changes happened in the 2023 X3. BMW has slimmed down the central vents, enough so that the climate controls now live between them. Below that are the audio controls, above the optional 12.3-inch touchscreen. It's a clean layout, if slightly basic in the face of the latest high-tech looks from Mercedes or the classy one from the Genesis GV70. BMW gets points for maintaining physical buttons for the most used controls, however, and the rest of the interior sticks to what made the X3 stay at the top of its game. However, even when extensively optioned, it does not quite rise to the obvious luxury of what you will find in a Mercedes. iDrive remains central to the BMW tech experience. Standard is a 10.25-inch display. The larger 12.3-inch touchscreen provides clearer menus that are easier to navigate, but the dial on the center console is intuitive and skips the inevitable fingerprints. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard. As for the RX, the interior is eons better than it was. The dashboard adopts a more distinct two-tier design. The resulting recess houses the available ambient lighting. A cleaner console design with a smaller shifter and no more trackpad makes things feel less cluttered, while ditching most of the ancient buttons for a larger touchscreen with fewer knobs. There is lots of leather, real aluminum around the vents and steering wheel, and even suede-like texture on the door panels in the same shade as the seats. As for infotainment, sitting in the middle of the dash is a large touchscreen running the latest Lexus interface system. Standard on the base and premium trim is a 9.8-inch screen, but the rest of the trims run on a massive 14-inch display. Rotary dials on either side handle climate duties, with a smaller dial below the screen for volume. The interface itself is easy to use, with a simple main menu operating much like a modern smartphone. Both screens offer wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. As for passenger space and cargo, the driver can enjoy a comfortable multi-adjustable seat in BMW's artificial leather. The interior dimensions remain unchanged, so the X3 still stretches the definition of compact with its spaciousness. There is plenty of headroom both front and back, and people at the back will enjoy a comfortable ride with 36.4 inches of rear legroom. The X3 is one of the most spacious compacts out there, swallowing 28.7 cubic feet with all the seats up, fold to 40-20-40 second row down, and that number more than doubles to 62.7 cubes. The load floor is helpfully low too. As for passenger and cargo space, Lexus makes some great seats and the RX is no exception. These handsome leather bucket seats fit the driver and front passengers like a glove with excellent power adjustability and ample head and legroom. Rear seat passengers enjoy slightly increased legroom at 37.4 inches, and a pair of rear passengers will have plenty of space despite a tall driver up front. Depending on trim, heated and ventilated seats are available in both rows. Cargo space is average for the class, with 29.6 cubes with the rear seats up. Fold them down and you get 46.2 cubic feet. When it comes to pricing, the X3 lands right in the middle of the segment, and it kicks off at $47,200 in rear-wheel drive form including destination. All-wheel drive adds $2,000. The X3 M40i xDrive is $62,000, and the full performance X3M will go for $75,400. As for Lexus, the base RX Hybrid starts at a reasonable $50,150 including destination. Premium goes for $52,150, and the luxury trim costs $58,150. And if you want the top F-Sport performance, it goes for $62,750. If you want niceties like semi-aniline leather, bigger wheels, and a head-up display, then the luxury trim is the way to go. But as still the only hybrid in the entire class, the Lexus RX represents great value even in base form. It's the most efficient vehicle in the segment by a long shot, and still comes with all the luxury and high-tech you expect from a luxury SUV of this caliber. When it comes to driving and handling, the engine lineup in the X3 continues to feature a brass of 4- and 6-cylinder options. The base engine is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-pot, producing 248 horsepower and 255 pound-feet of torque. Every model uses a variation of a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. While the numbers may not match some of the more powerful 4-cylinder competition, the xDrive 30i never feels out of its depth as it winds through mountain roads. Torque comes on early, helping the X3 up to speed plenty quick enough. The transmission does the typical luxury smoothness in normal use, but will happily adopt a more aggressive approach when you put your foot in, dropping the ratios and holding gears through the rev ring. There is still some 4-cylinder gruffness, but that's still part of the course in the class these days. The X3 rides with a softness not present elsewhere in the lineup. It's secure on the road, but not particularly loose. The steering is light on feel, but the consistency makes it easy to place on winding roads. The X3 M40i produces 382 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque, and now comes with a 48-volt mild hybrid system to bolster it. The 2023 RX is brand new from the ground up, adapting the same TNGA platform variant as every front-wheel drive Toyota and Lexus, which means that the RX shares its mechanical DNA with the RAV4 and Sienna. BMW shoppers may snicker at that, but ultimately, the RX enjoys the same improvements in way of sharper response to inputs, greater composure on uneven pavement, and provides a driving position that's more sitting in than sitting upon. The RX 350h also now boasts a quieter and more refined iteration of Toyota's familiar hybrid powertrain setup. It includes a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated inline-4, 2 motors up front that help power the wheels and vehicle accessories, and a third motor at the rear axle to create all-wheel drive by kicking in when front-wheel drive slippage is detected. Another upside is exceptional fuel economy for a midsize SUV, 36 mpg combined, or 12 mpg better than the new 2.4-liter 275 horsepower turbocharged inline-4 found in the RX 350. One downside, however, is bulky acceleration. The 0-60 time is officially 7.4 seconds, and it feels even slower when motoring onto the highway due to the gravelly naturally aspirated engine and rodent ECVT. Basically, it's what you'd expect from a hybrid. So, which one should you choose? Well, I believe this is an easy one. I really prefer the design of the Lexus RX both inside and out, and when you add the efficiency of the hybrid system at pretty much the same price, it just seals the deal for me.